Iraola's Liverpool tactics. Vertical attacks, high press, areas to improve. Halfway through Liverpool's pre-season schedule, the identity head coach Andoni Iraola is trying to imprint on his new team is becoming clearer. There were positives to take from victories over Sunderland and Wrexham, and then the first half against Leeds United was the best Liverpool had looked during their tour of the United States. Advertisement, the second half of the 4-2 defeat, after Iraola's team had gone into the break with a 2-goal lead, was a reminder of the work that needs to be done. That 45 minutes was a throwback to the worst of last season. A team that lacked presence up front, couldn't impose itself in midfield, were vulnerable at the back, and failed to deal with set pieces.
Then I found Lulu Talks tea and everything shifted. Once I started drinking it, my mornings were ruined in the sense that they'd never be the same again. I began waking up feeling rested and energized, something I hadn't experienced in years. My new routine? Just 1 cup of Lulu Talks in the morning. On top of that, my menopause symptoms have eased significantly. I finally feel like myself again, strong, confident, and like a woman who's ready to take on the day.
Curious what makes it different? Scan the QR code now or visit grabdeal.us/8.
Except for Alexis McAllister, who remains on holiday after the World Cup, Iraola is linking up with the rest of his squad this week, and the hard work will continue on Merseyside for the opening game of the Premier League season against Newcastle United on August 23. Pre-season is rarely the place to draw sweeping conclusions, but The Athletic analyzed the first 3 games to identify the tactical takeaways from Liverpool's stateside trip. Progressive ball movement. It took only 12 minutes in the first pre-season game against Sunderland for Liverpool to score the type of goal supporters hope to see frequently under Iraola. Liverpool went from their penalty box to the opponent's area in 14 seconds and 3 passes as James McConnell, Rio Ngumoha and Harvey Elliott combined to find Kieran Morrison, who nestled a shot into the bottom corner. Vertical was one of the 3 words Iraola used to describe the playing style he wanted to bring to Anfield in his first press conference last month, and Liverpool looked at their most threatening on tour when they progressed the ball up the pitch at speed. Key to the goal above was the inside movement of Ngumoha areas we didn't see the 17-year-old occupy last season, and Elliott, who both found spaces in between Sunderland's defensive structure. They nearly scored a similar goal in the opening minutes of their 1-0 victory over Wrexham when Dominic Szoboszlai found Elliott in an advanced central position. He released Josh Abe, but the 16-year-old was denied. The same combination helped create a shooting chance for Callum Scanlon shortly after. Iraola wants his players to take risks on the ball. That has required inexperienced centre-backs to pass into central areas. Advertisement Liverpool's 3rd goal against Sunderland, scored by Federico Chiesa, came from that ball progression. Luke Chambers found the Italy international, who laid the ball off to Luis Kumas. The 20-year-old released Abe, and he carried the ball to the edge of the area. From back to front in the blink of an eye and 3 passes later, Liverpool had scored. A key part of creating and capitalizing on space is through pressing and counterpressing, followed by decisive, forward-thinking ball movement. Liverpool's 4th goal against Sunderland saw Szoboszlai's press force a mistake from Jadon Jones. His loose pass to Scanlon started a swift attack that led to Kuma's goal. Chambers' interception against Wrexham was instrumental in a similar type of goal. Ngumoha's deflected effort proved to be the winner. In the 3rd preseason game, Iraola paired Alexander Isak and Florian Wirtz together. Compared to much of last season, Isak was much more prominent in Liverpool's build-up play, allowing Wirtz to float around him and connect things together. It is early days, but excitement about that partnership is understandable. A suffocating press. 2 other prominent words from Iraola's first press conference were intense and aggressive, and he has reintroduced those characteristics into Liverpool's pressing. Ineffective out-of-possession play was one of the key issues from last season. As left-back Milos Kerkez described it, Iraola is challenging his players to play one-on-one all over the pitch, to press high, and to always be on the front foot. It requires fullbacks to follow opposition wingers into midfield and demands center-backs to step out from the back line and defend on the front foot to back up the aggressive initial press. In the US, the most noticeable change has been in this high press. Advertisement from the opening minutes against Sunderland, the intensity and the number of players committed to the high press have been clear. Against Sunderland, the formation started as a 4-4-2, with the central attacking midfielder joining the striker in the first line of the press. At least one of the players in the double pivot was encouraged to push up and was supported by the wide players. There were issues in the first half, with Curtis Jones arriving late and fouling his opponent, but it was much sharper in the second period and has continued throughout the 3 games. The danger is when the opposition finds a way to play out of the press. It can leave the middle of the pitch open, and it requires recovery speed from the central midfielders. Szoboszlai looks in excellent shape after a strong preseason. Playing as part of the double pivot looks perfectly designed for him, as he has the attributes to press aggressively and work back into position. That was one of the issues Liverpool experienced in the second half against Leeds. A lack of effective pressing in the front line was coupled with Jones and Ryan Gravenberch struggling to impact the game. Leeds' third goal was a clear example of what can happen if both central midfielders get caught ahead of the ball and then don't react well enough. Jones failed to stop Sean Longstaff converting from inside the penalty area. "Full-back freedom, I'm playing very differently," Kirkez told reporters after the Leeds defeat. "Iraola is using me how I prefer to play more." The left-back spent 2 years playing under Iraola at Bournemouth, but his role changed at Liverpool. Former head coach Arne Slot wanted one of his fullbacks to maintain their position rather than constantly join attacks. "The gaffer likes to play more with the fullbacks down the line overlapping, Kirkez added. "It worked well for me at Bournemouth, so it will also work well here." Advertisement, the friendly against Leeds, was the only time on tour Kirkez and Jeremy Frimpong started a game together, and they are likely to line up against Newcastle. The first half showed how influential they can be within Iraola's system. They are required to form part of Liverpool's initial build-up in either a 4-1 or 4-2 shape, as shown in this example. They do have a license to roam and consistently found themselves around the opposition box at the same time. The freedom they are permitted does come with responsibility. Liverpool were caught out against Sunderland when James McConnell lost possession, as both Frimpong and left-back Kostas Tsimikas were ahead of the ball. It exposed centre-backs Ifeani Ndukwi and Mortala Ndiaye, and Enzo Lafi took advantage. The benefits were more evident against Leeds, as Frimpong and Kirkez showed the value of their speed in transition on both sides of the ball. Below, the left-back won possession, with Frimpong on the other side of the pitch also getting back into position. Liverpool transitioned into an attack, and it was Frimpong who arrived at the back post to direct Trey Naoni's pass across goal into the path of Wirtz. The tactical work will continue to ramp up over the next few weeks and matches against Monaco, and Como offer the ideal opportunity to refine their approach further.